Hello and welcome to the Confused Yorkshireman podcast. I'm Ben.
I'm George.
I'm Frank.
I'm going to kick off.
Not alphabetical. I want you to know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't matter.
Who cares anymore?
About the alphabet. I didn't realise we would. We've
Yeah.
completely thrown away such concepts. Oh,
Anyway,
Yeah, so
take
we've
it
all,
away,
got,
Ben.
we've all got questions, and I'm going to start off with, do you think self-driving cars are a good idea?
I don't know, because I quite enjoy driving. Unless you're in traffic, then it's boring. If you could have self-driving cars during a traffic jam, where you can just get a book out and just read whilst your car just etches 5 feet forwards every now and
you
then,
could
that'd be
listen to
lovely.
a podcast while driving.
You can do that whilst
anyway.
driving anyway.
I'd
That's
do that
true,
anyway.
Now you can watch the video of the podcast.
Oh,
You can do that whilst driving anyway.
I mean, yeah,
It's responsible and you shouldn't do it, but you can do it.
it's like how you can get in a FaceTime while driving.
Yeah.
You're up.
You can sign to deaf people as you drive.
Yeah, just turn around and be like, I like driving.
Oh, I remember when I were in your car with your dad, and he turned over to test me, and he just lets go at wheel and just signs to you.
yeah.
Whoa!
Oh,
He completely
man.
oh my god.
no eyes up road, no hands at wheel, just signing to you, and then you just sign back, and I'm just signing back like,
Yeah, my dad does that a bit. It's a bit of a problem. I don't like when he does it. I think it's one of the reasons why I don't like talking to the person. I used to really not like talking to the person who was
Yeah.
driving, just because in my head I'm like, they've got to turn. They've got to turn away from driving. They can't look at the road and see what I'm saying. That's not how that works. But then
I always
after-
feel really rude when people talk to me when I'm driving, and I talk back to them, but I just look at road. It's
Well,
like
I
I'm
would
ignoring
rather-
them.
I would rather
Yeah.
you be looking at the road. To be fair.
Oh yeah, I like to think like that. But it's just like sometimes, like if my girlfriend's talking to me a lot and she doesn't care, and I'm just like talking to her back but not looking at her, like I should be looking at her. But
Well, that's
there
true.
might be a car that swerves out in front of me, and I need to be aware of that.
Yeah, if you turn, look to be like, oh, I love you, and then car accident, and then she's dead, and you're like, ah, fuck.
One more mile, my love.
One more round, my love.
But yeah, self-driving cars.
Self-driving
I
cars.
don't know. I don't think they're necessary. It's just lazy, isn't it? But then again,
I'm
it's
a
a lot
lazy
more.
person.
Yeah, it's a lot more accessible though, because then people won't get. Then again, saying that, people won't have to have driving licenses. But I feel like to have a self-driving car, you'd still need a driving license.
There's
Unless it was completely, there was no human input at all. There was no way for you to drive it.
problem you've got with a self-driving car is what's its priority? If there's an accident going down, who's its priority to save?
It would be like, what's
Oh,
its face?
we're going to the trolley
from-
question. Do
Well,
you know the
yeah.
trolley question?
Yeah, I know the trolley question. I have been on the internet and seen the trolley question. My favourite one is the one where it's just another guy, but it's like, you get the kill. And it's like
Yeah, so you have to push a fat man in front of the trolley, but it kills them, but it saves 5 people.
yeah. Or it's you pull a lever.
Yeah,
So
it's,
the trolley is heading down a path. It would hit 5 people if you don't do anything. But if you pull the lever, it's moving and it's killing 1 person. But you are killing that person.
Yeah, but
Yeah. This can be a question on its own.
That's true, but it's a very integral into the point.
There's so
of,
many variations of this question. There's like the surgeon version of it. I don't know if you've heard of. So you're like a surgeon. You can do every operation perfectly. But it's only you and like a janitor left in this in the hospital, and there's 10 patients that all need organ transplants. They all need like different kinds of organs. So would you kill that perfectly healthy janitor to give an organ transplant to all the 10 people to save their lives?
Seeing as organ transplants are voluntary, I would turn to the janitor and go,
if
You
Janet's
willing?
cool with it, then
And-
it's like,
and-
yes, I want to.
and if the janitor says yes, sure. If the janitor says no, that ain't my problem. I'm going to clock out. End of my shift.
Yeah, but
Hi,
going off
lads.
it ain't my problem. If we have self-driving cars, then that decision you'd be put in, say would you still have those circumstances where you could run over a child or run over a
An
adult,
old lady.
but the decision
How
goes
does a
down to you.
computer? How would the? Yeah, but if it's gonna
But
pop
it's
up and be
shifting that
like,
blame onto a computer, then who's liable in that case?
It's the person who programmed that decision, because you have to give that decision to the computer. You have to
also,
say, if you're in that circumstance, you have to say, run over the old lady instead of the child.
how does a computer tell the difference between a person who is a child or just a person who is quite short?
Facial recognition. I don't
What
know.
if the person isn't facing the machine?
Then you give the car the Byakugan, and then it has a 360-degree vision on everything around it.
Okay, yeah, but that doesn't help if something's facing away.
Well, yeah, it does, because
Okay, if I turn around
Oh.
like this,
yeah, it's a Naruto reference, right? The Byakugan allows you to see a 360-degree vision around you, so I can see from behind you.
oh, okay,
That's
so
how it works.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I give the anime reference, because Ben don't watch anime, and
I don't.
you watch trash anime.
I haven't seen a lot of Naruto. I'm sorry. I also
Naruto's
can't remember
great.
the billion things that go on with it.
Well, with driving cars, I think there'd be less accidents.
There would be less accidents as long as every car is a self-driving car, because then they're all automated. But
They're
you've
all on
also,
the same like network as well, so they can all
Yes.
communicate with each other.
however, then you've got every single car running off the same network. And as we know, if something is stored electronically, it can be retrieved electronically.
That's just Watch Dogs waiting to happen. You go
Yeah.
to some traffic lights, and then someone
Someone's
presses a
gonna
button
hack
on the
it.
phone, and everyone just drives into each other.
And I feel like you would need to be able to do it manually, but also it's difficult because self-driving cars assume a perfect environment, right? A lot of times, a lot of these self-driving car trials that are happening in quite urban areas. So like the centers of cities and stuff like that, where your roads are generally getting hopefully maintained quite well. Once you start hitting out into like your sort of areas that are gonna have shitloads of potholes and like or a rough road or something like
Or
that.
even in a less developed area, like a place in Africa that doesn't have proper roads, it just has like dirt tracks. How does a self-driving car do that? Would
And
you
also-
need to a normal non-selfing kit?
Would a self-driving car be
There's
able
no
to
reason why you can't program it to be able to drive on those roads.
Yeah, but if you had a self-driving car, would you have to map out all of the road systems, or would it be able to detect a
Well, are they
road?
not already mapped out anyway?
not
Google
all of them.
Maps.
Well,
or
yeah,
the majority.
Google
I
Maps.
tell you what, Ben,
isn't
I
up
go
to
on my
date.
sat nav, and there's roads on my sat nav that aren't there anymore.
Yeah,
there's
well,
roads on-
obviously it'd be getting updated all the time if this was like an actual thing.
Yes, but then also, which maps is every car going to be running off the exact same
Well,
map?
you'd have one centralized system for it. So I'm assuming you'd have one like government body for
Yeah.
the car system. So
Sure, be
maybe you have
standardized
one
the map
company that
system.
maintains all of the navigation for it,
Ye-
and then
Also, you
your
now
car
have one.
companies build the cars and then program it to their.
You might even just get the
framework.
Ordnance Survey maps to just map it all out. Because we use Ordnance Survey as like a general map thing, don't we?
That's true. Do you know maps have trap streets? So maps will have on them a fake street that they use to catch out people copying their map.
Hmm.
So, like for example, say I was to do a map of Yorkshire, I could add in essence an extra road somewhere, or make a road more bendy than it looks. And the idea behind that is, if I see that mistake on someone else's map, I know that means they've copied my map. And that's part of every map. If you look at a map for long enough, you will find a trap street or a misspelled name, and those some of them are mistakes, but not all of them are. Some of them are literally set up to trick someone.
I feel like the actual official car navigation system wouldn't have trap streets on it. I feel like someone would guarantee that.
That's that.
They'd
Yeah,
have, they couldn't have them on it, because imagine if you're on
But
a bridge and then someone's just drawn a road and then the car just drives off the bridge. It's like,
Even
oh,
the
there's a road
ordnance-
there.
Even the Ordnance Survey maps do it.
I'm sure, like,
There'll be a lot of legal implications with that.
Yep.
I'm sure it'd be a known thing in the programming, though.
That's
You
true.
don't
But how
program
do
that into the car.
yeah,
Well,
but then
you
you
already
just
have cars that can detect what's in front of them, brake for you.
That's
That is
true.
something that's been
that would be
developed.
there. Because if a guy just walks out on the road, it's going to stop.
That's true. But also, then we're going back to the car accident situation. Like, what should it prevent?
Yeah, well,
Like, say,
it should protect the driver. Like
really?
that. I think that should be I think the car's purpose should be to protect the driver.
Okay, what if by protecting the driver it would cause the deaths of 2 people?
Well, that just works the same as it currently is, isn't it?
How
Because
often are these circumstances going to happen, though?
Probably, that's quite a lot of car accidents.
Yeah, but that's because humans are driving them.
yeah, but you got to think the the pedestrians that are crossing the roads and things like that, they're not piloted by this virtual system that's making everything go. They're still human. They still generate all these errors for the system.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but the self-driving cars have faster reaction times than what a human can do, so they can easily brake in time. There's
And self-driving cars wouldn't speed.
Oh, there's still
You could
They're-
program it so there'd be no possibility of speeding.
yeah, the cameras on the self-driving cars, they watch pedestrians. They can tell sometimes if a person's about to step out by looking at the body language.
that's true. But what if there's a mechanical failure there? Like, what?
Well, if there's a
It's-
mechanical failure, then the system's flawed anyway. It's not going to make a decision. It's just going to.
The system is going to be flawed. Like, we are running off the assumption here that the system will be perfect.
It will be flawed because it's made by humans. Unless we make a machine to make an unflawed system, then it will be flawed because we programmed it and we're
I
flawed.
think for these first cars that they're making, they're going to make them near perfect. But once they start manufacturing like loads, that's when the problem's going to happen.
Well, yeah, because it'll just be. It's less that. A lot of the time with software and stuff like that, it's less that the system itself is perfect when there's only a couple cars. It's more that the more you have, the more the flaws in the system can become evident. Like, just because there's more scenarios going on that will not have been tested. That's kind of how bug testing works in games and stuff like that. But also a thing about programming, a lot of modern programs, essentially for stuff like algorithms and stuff like that, a lot of it seems to be, for at least from the way I've read, and I don't know if this would be how a self-driving car would do it, is they have, for like facial recognition software, they build essentially a software that makes a software and a software that tests that software. And they just loop that for ages until eventually they get one that does the job pretty well. But for a lot of these facial recognition softwares and a lot of these algorithms, the reason why companies can't explain why the algorithm does what it does sometimes is because they don't actually know. It just they have to sort through all this code, and a lot of it is just sort of randomly assigned. There's a brilliant CGP Grey video on it. To plug someone who's far better than us.
Never heard of them. Can't be that good.
CGP, I think you would genuinely really love his videos.
Okay. Link me.
I will do. I can do it right now if you'd like. But yeah, I feel like for self-driving cars, the first step we do have to hit is what does it do in the worst case scenario? Because if you don't have that program in there, and also I don't think people will be comfortable ever with the idea that it's all completely automated.
I think they would eventually.
Just to go for that development side of it, because I work with development with my company. Thinking about it, how awkward it would be to have self-driving cars, because in development they have sprints, which at my company we have like 2-week sprints. So every 2 weeks you have a sprint where you have to release a patch, or you sprint to find out what's going to be fixed, what's going to be changed, what's going into the next patch. But thinking about that, it would be you'd need to have these sprints, and then every time there's a patch, all cars that are getting this patch would need to be shut down whilst this patch is applied to it, else the software wouldn't work. So would there just be periods of time where it's just like, at 12 o'clock on Sunday, you cannot drive your car? Well, it just won't work.
What if your Wi-Fi is garbage?
Yeah. Well,
and you can't download the patch? What if you don't have any internet at the time? What if you don't
each car would have to have a way of connecting to this cloud network, this cloud platform that has all of this.
So every single car now
software on
needs
it.
to be able to have a Wi-Fi connection that is decent enough
But
that it can
most
download
cars
the software.
actually do currently have a Wi-Fi connection. Most modern cars do. Most cars have bloody computers in them at this point.
Think about it, everywhere you've got internet connection, really. You just use mobile data instead.
Yeah,
and
but
you're just
like,
getting
what if
charged for it.
what if you? Yeah, so would they
Yeah,
be
but
charged
what
for it?
happens if you're on
Imagine
mobile data and it cuts out during the patch, and then you've got a corrupt car?
Well,
They smuggle
Ooh,
a remote onto your car
ooh,
and repair the corruption.
it becomes evil.
Well, it wouldn't become evil. It just wouldn't work,
Yeah.
or wouldn't work the way it's intended.
I don't think they'd make you pay for it, really. It might
Well,
be
no,
like
they'd
sort
have
of
to.
like emergency thing. 'Cause, like you can just, if you run out of like minutes or something on your phone,
Well, yeah, but
you could
like,
still call 999.
yeah, but if your car breaks down, even if it's an emergency, you still have to pay
You'd
for it.
have to have, as well as like engineers for cars, like mechanics. You'd have to have a support firm for the software that's provided to your car.
And would you have just one support firm? Because in which case, you've then created a monopoly.
Yeah, but it would
Because
have.
if all cars are running off the same software, if that's not a government-run thing, that is one company that is able to completely decide the prices of that software. It is able to completely decide how that software is run. It gets
Yeah, but is there any other way you could do it? Because you can't. They'd have to have
Plus,
every.
each car company has their own.
Well, each car company would have to have an API connection between each other that works
but they'd have to have a
perfectly.
car.
Basically, what
yeah,
an API is, it just allows them to transfer code between each other. Else, they wouldn't communicate with each other, and the cars wouldn't work together.
Yeah.
It'd only be like, say, this car brand works with this car brand, and this car brand works with this car brand. But if they come up against each other, they're just gonna not work.
Yeah. So you need.
So you would have to have one centralized system to maintain it all.
And it would have to be governmentally run, otherwise, you are essentially giving one company a monopoly, which is
Well,
we
it
don't-
depends
we
how
don't-
the future goes. Do we think governments are going to be a thing, or do you think it's going to
I
become more
hope
corporate?
I hope governments are going to be a thing.
On
Yeah.
a
Because if it
serious
just
note,
becomes-
things could get corporate, and then the world could be run by corporations.
I mean, if a world gets run by corporations, I'm getting Molotovs. This is a threat, Amazon.
I'm
You'll have
going
to
to
kill
the
me.
last episode and living on an island.
Oh, I thought you meant the last episode of the podcast is just us in a shelter in the middle of the corporate wars. Like, yeah, we're the confused Yorkshiremen. We're just wondering, will we survive this next artillery bombardment? What
We'll
do you
have our own
think, Frank?
corporation, man.
No, we won't. We'll be subsumed. We'll be
Yeah,
drafted.
but if you
to
think about
fight.
it, the government's technically just an organisation for a
Mate,
country.
I mean, yeah, that is what it is.
It's just its own corporation. It makes money to dispense money.
Yes, but however, the
Oh,
government is
anyway, let's not go on
democratic.
to this.
Yeah, let's not go
get
political.
this.
It's not political. It's I would argue that wasn't political.
Well, it will probably end up political.
It will end up political. you know you, Frank.
Yeah.
You're gonna start
Why
talking
me?
about.
Why me?
Out
Why
of us three,
don't-
you're the most politically
Aware.
fanatic.
Yeah.
Fanatic. I'm not a fanatic. Fuck off. Just because I
Another
have an
thing
opinion.
to think about.
Oh.
Another thing to think about is the constant surveillance that'd be happening.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah, but
constantly.
that happens anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
This
are
be
all
even
being
more.
Google Maps. And
Like
you, can't
you
just
you
Google.
could just get into a car and just drive off somewhere. Not many people know where you're going. But if you
Yeah,
got
but-
into a self-driving car, that'd be mapped out and anyone would be able to track you.
Well, that's just like having a black box in your car. It keeps a track of where you are all the time and where the car is.
True.
It's just like Google Maps. If
What
you
if your
have,
self-driving car, right, keeps telling you the roads you live on are dangerous roads, Ben, and it keeps docking points from your insurance.
Well, I think with self-driving cars, if every car was self-driving, I don't think people would own the cars. They'd always be driving around, and you just get
yeah,
in
but then
whenever.
you've just
like
got
Uber.
buses. It's just
Yeah.
it's just like a taxi service.
Yeah, why don't we just
Yeah.
okay, at this point, right? Buses exist.
Yeah, but buses are on a set route.
Just have more bus.
But this, you could go anywhere you want.
More bus.
Just have
It's
a
just-
big
No,
tunnel
that's not how
system
it works.
underground where you just get in your tunnel taxi and it just takes you to the tunnel endpoint. But
You
then
get
again,
your Amazon-
that's just trains.
You get your Amazon drone, right, to come in and pick you up by the shoulders, and it flies you to your destination.
No,
Let's get
right.
those tube things like
Futurama.
in Futurama.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
right. But then again, that's set. There's only set points you can end up at. It's not like. Then again, if you have a self-driving car, what if you like put in the coordinates for Buckingham Palace? Do you think it would be like, no, you can't go there? Do you think the self-driving car would just be like, oh, these are the coordinates, drop the guy off here, and then you just inside Buckingham Palace?
It'd be coded in it, like the place we can't like
Dead
go
zones
inside.
where you're not allowed to
I
go.
wanna go.
where
So
the
there was
car
like
can't
no
go.
entry like bits.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then you'd have to mark that out. What if someone just puts in the coordinates for someone else's house, hops out of a car, and it just drives into someone's house? You're like, I
Also,
didn't like
because
him.
you're
He's not
having-
at our house.
because
There's
you're
no
having a
road running straight into a house.
Because you're
They
having a
wouldn't do that.
single entity do that, because remember, this software's all being run by a single group, right? In order to make it function correctly. You now have
So
one
risky,
group who
though.
gets to decide where you can go. What if they're like, oh, it's not profitable for these cars that are driving around? Because who's paying for all these self-driving cars now? If you don't
The
own these cars,
government. Taxes
what
are
if-
going to skyrocket.
which then implies like, what if the government's like, it's not profit, we can't afford to have cars travel this far. Cars need to have a limit on how far they can get, or something like that.
I think if we had self-driving cars, it'd be something they'd have to work like current cars. You'd have to buy it yourself and maintain it yourself. Like if my car's clutch goes, no one else pays for that. I go to the garage, I buy a new clutch, I get them to put it in. It'd have to be like that. You'd have to maintain it, but then there'd be a lot more to. Having a driving license would be completely different because it wouldn't be knowing how to drive. It'd be
Wouldn't
knowing
need
how
one.
to maintain your car and then what to
feel like
do
you'd
if
still
your
need a
car
driving license.
malfunctions.
Because
Yeah,
if
I think anyone who has a self-driving car, even if it's impossible to drive, you need to be aware of the.
I think everyone needs to
the
know how to
laws.
maintain it. Because you just take it to the garage and
how do you take it to the garage if it's not working?
you call up your what's it called? Your recovery people, like you would anyway. If I go in my car right now and it wouldn't start, I'd have to call someone up to take it to the garage.
That's true. Actually, yeah, you got me there.
I actually know someone who actually has like a garage, like in a van, like a full garage in a van. He's really good. He's just like fits it there and then on you drive. But
Yeah.
Back when I used to work in a garage warehouse, know lots of people like that. But yeah,
I
So
don't know. Well,
I don't think they're ever going to really take over. They'll exist, but I feel
I
like
just don't see
I
the
think that'd be a
point
good
in them.
thing. It would reduce the amount of accidents.
that's
That's
true.
the whole
But
point.
I don't think people would be willing to give it up. I don't
Yeah,
think.
I
they'd
think
be
I
willing
think
to
a lot of
give up.
people would, but then you've got those certain people who just love driving cars. That's their
Yeah,
pleasure.
And they're never going to give that up. And so
yeah, but what
therefore-
happens if you have humans driving cars as well as self-driving cars?
Well, I think there'll probably like one accident with a self-driving car and like 10 with a human, and the only news you ever hear is the one about self-driving cars.
Yeah, but
Which
the
is
thing
stupid.
is, these self-driving cars will be law-abiding. They'll do the speed limit and everything like that. And the people that are causing accidents are these people who break the laws on the road, like going through red lights,
Yeah.
breaking speed limits, and they will be the people who won't get these self-driving cars because they like to go fast. They don't want to wait around at the speed limit, things like that. They'll still be there on the road causing these issues, and still, if
Also-
they choose to drive into a self-driving car, the self-driving car can't stop that. He's
If-
not going to
if-
just swerve away.
If every car was self-driving, there wouldn't be any more police chases.
while that's true,
Sorry, I'm choking on my coffee. I'll mute
wait,
myself.
are you telling me the police are going to have self-driving cars? Or would they just
Yeah.
stop? Would they just stop?
They'd
Okay,
just
that
stop
applies.
the car, wouldn't they?
Okay, so that now means there is a software in the system which allows someone to remotely stop your car. Once that gets out, okay, imagine knowing, right, George, at any point
No, because then
someone
if you could do that,
could
then
stop your car.
you get people hacking cars and like
Yeah.
this car's now
Well,
going
yeah,
to
that's
go
what
the
will
max
happen.
speed limit. It's going to be like that movie with the bus that has to say across the
Speed.
speed limit, but you can't. You can't. You physically can't slow down. The car's just going that fast, and you can't control it. It's going to be chaos. It would have
There's
to.
a,
Oh,
You just need a lot of security on it then, won't you?
well, yeah,
That'll
but
be the big priority to
or
have
you
to-
just give the people driving the cars control over their cars.
you mean as in you just let them drive?
Yes.
So are me and George on the page of we don't want driverless cars?
I think self-driving cars are Yeah, they'd be cool and stuff, but I think they'll cause more hassle than they're worth.
Yeah, it's not worth it, I'd say. I'd argue that the idea of is any self-driving car is going to have to have manual options as well, because there's going to be situations where you need a manual override, and that means the person still has to have a driving license. That person still needs to be paying attention. That person basically might as well be driving.
In that case, like the only time I'd ever use self-driving is if you're stuck in a traffic jam.
Yeah.
Rather than putting up your clutch every 5 seconds and driving forwards a little bit, just put it into autopilot and just let it do
sitting
itself.
having cruise control.
Yeah, I've not got a car that has cruise control. I can't speak.
Yeah,
Cruise control, but even if I did, I don't think I'd actually use it.
It just keeps it at the same speed, really.
Yeah, but it's not hard to keep your car at the same speed. All you got to do is put a little bit of pressure on the gas pedal, and then it goes.
I know, but some people
I'd
don't
want
do
cruise
that.
control. I'm lazy.
It's just
When you're doing it for like, if you're driving for hours a day, it's probably useful.
then why don't we just give it an option? Self-driving lorries. Why don't we just do that?
Then you're getting rid of
Think
all those
about
jobs.
how many people are going to be out of jobs because of self-driving lorries?
Yeah,
Think
actually,
about that. You won't have taxi drivers anymore.
Then you're also
you've
creating more
you've
jobs for
broken the
people who have
economy.
to program and
okay. Oh, so
maintain
you're
it.
going to force people
There's-
to retrain into a new industry?
Well, what are you
There's
going to
a-
do if future technologies once
Like,
that gets rid of jobs?
Yeah, that's the that's one
It's
of the.
something you have to do.
Well, there's a. Oh, it's the idea that eventually, over time, a lot of jobs just get weaned out because of tech, and
Yeah. But
the
then,
problem is
but then
you
more
are.
jobs are getting created to maintain that tech as well.
then the price of living goes up because in countries like that aren't England where you don't get education paid for, well, that's even when you're a kid, you've got to pay for your education. And if you've just been put out of a job, how do you pay for your education to get employment in this new environment that's come up?
Well, that's
You just
something
end
the
up with
governments need
more
to look at.
unemployed people.
They need to stop thinking education's like what it was in the Victorian times. Need to look into it more.
I do agree with that, but at the same time, companies, especially with things like this that put people's lives at stake if something goes wrong with this self-driving car stuff. If you have just people training on the job doing this, it could cause death and things like that. It's something you've got to have this baseline understanding before you have a position in that. And you could have the companies training people, but then that's a huge investment for the companies. Are they going to do that? Are those companies going to be funded by the government to do this? It'd be a complete shift in the whole working environment there. It just, I can't see. It would have to be a very slow integration. You couldn't just say, all right, all cars are now self-driving. Sorry, taxi drivers, you're out of luck. Learn how to program self-driving cars.
Yeah, like, do you remember when they did? Do you remember when the government posted the Fatima's next job could be in cyber thing because they weren't funding the arts? So basically, the government has been slowly defunding the arts, and one of the things they posted was a thing showing a dancer, and it's like, oh, her next job could be in cyber. Basically, going, oh, we're not going to fund the arts anymore. Go retrain. Go do something else.
Yeah, what if you really enjoy being a lorry driver? It's your dream
Yeah.
job, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of you. Go do something else that you probably don't like and don't want to do.
I just feel like with self-driving cars, there's a lot of
That's like how it is in my journey right now. Like a lot of us were like doing traditional stuff, but everything's done on a machine now, CNC, and that's just how it is. There's something we have to deal with.
I think you're bitter, Ben.
Yeah, Ben's just like, I want everyone else to feel my pain, so get rid of driving jobs.
I'm not saying like that. It's just like it's how the world is.
It's how it is.
Yeah, but this isn't something that
used
I
to
think needs changing. I think we're quite good right now with being able to drive our own delivery systems, and well, that's basically what they're transport systems.
It functions.
I don't think it needs changing to be self-driving. I just don't see the point in it, unless we wanted cars to go places where humans can't go. Like, say, if we wanted cars on Mars.
We already do have that. We
don't have the Mars rover anymore, didn't it die or something?
It ran out of battery or something. I think China just landed theirs.
Mm.
It's not to date the video or anything.
Not like last year.
No, they just landed. I think they landed another one.
Okay.
In the last couple of days.
Yeah, unless we wanted cars to go places that humans physically can't go, I don't think there's much point in it. I don't think the safety benefits from having self-driving cars will ever go away because you're still going to have normal people driving cars and they're going to fuck it up. You can't force people to have a self-driving car. And if they do, then you're going to be riots on the streets. People are going to be deliberately breaking self-driving cars in rebellion.
They will do. You know how it is.
You look like you want to disagree, Ben, but you don't know what to say.
Yeah,
I'm
Ben,
so
Ben,
right.
Ben wants self-driving cars, but we know the difficulty with
Ben
it.
just doesn't want to drive 40 minutes to work every morning. He wants the car to do it for him so he can read a book.
That's what Ben wants.
Watch a new series on Netflix.
So, George, are we in agreement that self-driving cars won't take over?
I don't think they will. No, I don't see the point in them. I think if we got to that point, it wouldn't be people that we're transporting that we'd automate. It'd be like delivery services, so like Amazon with the drones and stuff. We go more that way, so the transporting goods and things like that is automated rather than transporting people.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I agree.
Okay.
You look like you disagree, Ben.
I don't know. I think they are going to take off a bit. Self-driving cars.
Oh, they take off. They fly.
They're actually developing.
Actually, if you say
cars.
flight, we could have normal cars on the road and then self-driving flying cars where you can't
Isn't
own
that
a
just
flying
drones?
car. Well, yeah.
That's just big drones.
It'd just be like helicopters.
People.
But you have self-driving helicopters.
Okay, if it's a flying car, it's not a car anymore.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You keep normal cars on the road where people drive them, and then in the air, you have a self-driving system to keep them separate.
All cars, you could drive normally on the road, but they can turn into self-driving flying.
Okay, that's a lot of money.
How does a self-driving road car take off? Is it a VTOL system?
You know the wheels. The wheels, they become rotors and they go down and they go.
Yeah, Back to the Future.
Right, so you're driving your car, your wheels slowly start turning, your car's now scraping across the floor, the propellers on the bottom have been mangled against the asphalt.
I'm an ideas man.
Not for propellers, it could be jets.
Okay, pollution has skyrocketed because everyone's driving cars with jets on them.
Fuck it. We don't need the planet anyway.
I just don't see the point in them. Why don't we just drive cars? We've done it, how long have we drove cars? Nearly 100 years now. In fact, over 100 years now. We've driven cars. What's wrong with it? It's worked for a century. Why do we need to change it?
And even before that,
that's like the same argument with switching to automatic from manual. People are like, why were we doing that?
I mean,
that's one thing about driving. That's not changing the entire driving system. That's just what you're saying is scrapping the old way and implementing a new way, not integrating new ideas into the current way.
Yeah,
it's just completely changing it. It's not adapting it.
Using self-driving as an autopilot in like certain situations, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll do that motorway or something.
But forcing everyone into that system isn't going to work.
I wouldn't like it. I don't necessarily enjoy driving, but I'd prefer to have my own car being driven by me than this automated system.
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie. If I was in a machine, right, going down... So imagine you're going down the motorway, Ben. You are traveling at 70 miles an hour in a metal box.
Yeah.
That's what I do anyway.
No. You have no control over what's going on.
Okay.
Like, at all.
That'd be like a passenger.
I guess, but like...
I've got no problem with that. It's the whole...
You've got your trust in that individual. I don't know why. There's something about the idea of my life directly being in the hands of a program that fucks with me.
It's other people I wouldn't trust, not the program.
I trust the person who's driving.
Yeah, but that's the current problem. You know you can drive. The only issue you have when you go out driving is other people on the road that are driving like idiots.
Well, you can't say that the bad thing about self-driving cars is accidents, because there's loads of accidents now anyway. This would reduce accidents.
Oh yeah, that's not the. That's yeah. Accidents.
I don't think that's a problem. I think integrating this new
That's
system
one of the main
is a
problems
problem.
people say about it.
That's true, but that's
Yeah,
because
but do you
people
know
see.
what we can do about accidents rather than making self-driving cars? We make the penalties for breaking the law on the road more severe and invest more money in making the roads safer. So having more monitoring systems, not speed bumps, because speed bumps are just stupid, but actually more ways for the police force and everyone to monitor the roads. Put more money
Yeah.
into that.
Do you want more speed cameras and bigger fines?
Well, if it's not working and people are complaining about all these accidents, and accidents are caused by the people that are doing these, not paying attention, driving whilst they're on the phones, breaking speed limit, things like that, then the obvious thing to do for me would be put more money into stopping the current idiots on the road, simply putting it, rather than inventing a system to completely eliminate the idiots on the road.
It's guns.
So yeah, why don't they just put more money into that? Rather than making self-driving
I think it's
cars.
just a hard thing to enforce.
That's
Like
true.
how
But
are you going to force people when
it's a
they're
hard thing.
texting?
How are you going to force people to stop?
Well, you have
driving
cameras
their
that
cars?
detect this stuff, and then if you do it, you have like the penalty system that's currently in place, but you make it harsher. Like I think if someone's on their phone, a police officer should have the right to just take the license off of them, because there's no reason to be on your phone in the car, and it's one of the worst things you can do. It's like talking to someone when you're in a car when you're not looking at the road, but you're just looking down at your phone. It's like you're not even bothered about driving. You're not bothered about what's on the road. You're just sort of winging it. And that's
Yeah.
what causes accidents, when people just wing it on the road. Or people driving without licenses. Oh, never mind. But I
You
think-
okay there?
because you don't have a driving license, Frank, but like, on Friday when I was driving to gym, there were two lads on, I won't name the road, but on the road down to the gym, the dual carriageway,
Oh yeah.
doing wheelies on their motorcycle, and one swerved in front of a car and almost took themselves out on the car. And just watching them do that when you're on the road, it's just like watching people like that. You just hope a police officer rolls up and just takes the license off and just fucking throws the bike in a skip, because they're just causing issues for other people on the road and put other people's lives at risk. It's just it's so frustrating when you're a driver seeing people doing that, and when you see people that are clearly drunk on the road driving about. But yeah, I could go on like this for ages.
Yeah, we're about to have George go on a massive tirade, so I think have we said anything? Have we said
I don't
everything?
get road rage. I get road disappointment that people do this. Like, I'm not angry at them. I'm just disappointed that you're doing this. Oh,
Okay.
but yeah, a bit of a tangent there. But all in all, I think self-driving cars, no need. Just make people better drivers.
My question is, if you could change one major historical event, what would it be? You just get to shift one major historical event, and the sort of it has those knock-on effects.
It's a very big question. That
When you say major historical event, does it have to be that everyone knows about it? Can it just be a major historical event in my life? So could I just change a part of my life? Because that doesn't affect anyone else. I don't have to think about the repercussions of that. I can just say,
it did say major.
I wish I tried better in my A levels instead of playing Heroes of the Storm to get to top 500 players of U-Flex.
I mean, it's all you had to do was place. So.
This was before the game died, when it had an esports scene that I wasn't in.
Oh.
It's easy to get in the top 500, but there's only 400 players in the EU. Like, I'm just saying, I could jump on right now and get into top 500.
I'd like to see you to get to top 500 in a game that you play competitively.
I'll jump
Before
on
you
Heroes.
Take the piss out of me for doing it.
I'll play.
Good at that game.
I'll place in Heroes of the Storm, and then guess what? Top 300. Like.
In 1v1, me and Heroes of the Storm, I'm sure I'm still good at it. I've not played it for like 3 years. I'm sure I'll still rail you.
Are you allowing that answer then, Frank?
Can it be a major historical event for me? Does it, or does it have to be?
I feel like it has to be a historical event that other people will know about.
Well, everyone now knows that I were top 500 in Heroes of the Storm. That's major history right there.
That is a major event. That's going straight on your Wikipedia page.
I was a Lunara main. Well, Lunara,
Which was
bit of
Lunara?
Johanna. She's the Dryad, the first daughter of Cenarius.
Cenarius? Oh, yeah, because the Warcraft Dryads are centaur ladies, aren't they?
Sexy ladies, yes.
They have horse legs, George.
Yes.
That's not.
Oh my God.
That's my historical event I would change. When women were created, I'd give them horse legs.
When women were created. My favorite bit of history was when
When women were
the
created.
rib was when the rib was
Yeah.
removed from Adam, and Adam didn't then turn around to God and go, "Yeah,
fuck?
can I get horse legs on this lady?"
I
God
mean-
immediately sent him to hell.
Whoa, what's so hellish about horses?
It's quite bad to want to fuck horses,
I don't think
George.
bestiality is allowed in the Bible.
I never said I want to fuck them. I just said they're cool. You could ride them then. Not in a sexual way. You could genuinely a transportation system for men.
Okay,
Oh,
you want to reduce women to
In
a
fact, no, right.
transportation
Let me
system for
correct
men.
this. Right. Talk about Warcraft. They're not horse bodies, they're deers.
Oh, they're actually
that's
deers.
different.
They're
Yeah.
deers. And you can't
That
ride
makes
a
it
deer because
better.
you'll break their spine.
But aren't the centaurs one of the kids of one of Cenarius's kids?
Yes, Cenarius isn't half horse, he's half like deer.
Then how did the centaurs happen?
Oh, I don't know, Frank.
I don't know how
Go
much people
play
care
World
about
of Warcraft.
Warcraft
I don't
lore.
want to go. I don't want to play World of Warcraft. I don't have the fucking 7 hours a day of free time to put in.
It's okay. You can just do dungeons instead of raids.
Mythic Plus, yeah. I would have liked that. Oh well. Let's not look back on what could have been.
That's my historic event. I changed the creation of World of Warcraft.
Okay, you know what? I'll accept that because maybe we'd have a more diverse MMO scene
what would the world be like?
without World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I don't know.
2008 financial crisis wouldn't have happened. Wrath of the Lich King caused.
So WoW came out in 2004.
Yeah, but Wrath of the Lich King came out in 2008, and it
Oh my
caused.
god,
the
that
financial-
makes me feel old.
Was it 2008?
I remember playing World of Warcraft on like original classic, and I couldn't read, and I couldn't get out of Denasus because I couldn't read.
What you wait? How did you install the game?
We were 5 when it came out.
I don't know how I managed to do it, but I remember I had the disc. I've probably still got it somewhere. But you had like this massive booklet that you opened up and it had the disc and it had a lot of ads and stuff. And I put it in and I played it and I played a night elf male rogue, I want to say.
2008 was when World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King came out, and when was the financial crisis? 2008.
I don't
Yeah.
think they're related, Frank.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Correlation does not mean causation.
I'm just saying. How many people do you reckon stopped doing their jobs to play World of Warcraft? They lost productivity. I am blaming Blizzard Entertainment for the 2008 financial crisis.
Yeah, but seriously, thinking about how much effort people put into World of Warcraft, if they put that into their
We would have
IRL
cured.
lives,
We would have cured every disease by now.
Do you think they would have just
I
gone to a different MMO instead?
Oh, that's true. They'd all still be playing. They'd all be playing
No,
RuneScape.
no bloody
EverQuest.
EverQuest, that was it.
Battle Royales would have come around a lot sooner, and everyone would have been playing them instead.
Oh
We would have grew up with Fortnite instead of Minecraft.
Ah.
no, you can't say that. That's
No,
so
Minecraft
weird.
would have been made into an MMO.
Minecraft is an MMO. If you think about it.
Yeah, some servers like it.
Yeah. Do you want to play on a Minecraft MMO server?
To be fair, we are like disrespecting World of Warcraft here, but we've all played it for quite a bit of time and all enjoyed it for the time.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Ben, when you put /played into the chat, what results were you getting? 2 months.
Yeah, something like that. 2 months.
I genuinely enjoyed
Sounds
WoW.
like
character.
I enjoyed WoW. I just didn't have the time to do a lot of it, and also the raid.
Frank, you didn't get the B mount. Just tell me about that time.
Yeah, I did.
B mount.
Yeah, I do. I looked
I
at the
listened to
grind.
the first Harry Potter book before I got all of the jelly for the B mount.
I mean, the B mount was cool. I'll admit.
No, I enjoyed it before we made the guild, to be honest. which
To be
sounds
fair.
sad.
Well, to be fair, because it was just us. I think that's genuinely the best
It's
bit.
trying to manage all those people to try and do something like kind of ruined it for me.
Like, if I'm not gonna lie, if we ever jump back into WoW at some point in the next 5 years, if WoW
Guys,
is
let's hop
dead,
in. There's a new raid out.
Oh,
is
there
there?
ain't.
Is there?
There
Oh.
isn't
There
there?
ain't. Not yet.
Is it still?
9.1's coming out in like June or July, I think.
Like, because
Well,
I'm
we can all
not
make
gonna.
new characters for the next raid.
No, I'm
I
not
just
doing
level.
that.
I just level one of my alts. But to be fair, we could genuinely do that. Me and Ben queue as tanks. George queues as a healer.
Don't say healer. I'm not being healer again.
Okay, you could go DPS because
I'd
me and
rather
Ben will
this.
be queuing as tanks.
Oh, but all
it'll
my
be fine.
legendaries are already
I think
oriented
we
around
should get
healing.
back on track with questions.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't know where we were. I went off on a wild
to World of
tangent.
Warcraft.
Can I change my question?
It.
I
no.
would change the fact that Azeroth got stabbed by a big sword. I would erase Battle for Azeroth from existence. Just keep it a Legion. Just keep it a Legion. Legion was good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so George's major historical event is
Is wow.
the Battle for Azeroth
To be
expansion's
fair-
release.
Oh.
Okay, Ben, what's your one?
I was going to say the burning of the Library of Alexandria.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I
Yeah.
love the intellectual difference between mine and Ben's.
Yeah, yours is the high tier taste. Well,
Yeah.
So imagine how much knowledge we'd have.
I mean, I feel like we know now basically everything that was
Yeah,
in the
but-
book.
feel-
We'd be ahead.
We'd be living in 2021 now instead of
Oh, we'd be
2021.
That's true, but like a lot of technological advancement is less to do with time and more to do with the situation. If you think about it.
Well,
Yeah, but Ben, let me
Right.
ask you, why do you want this to change? Why do you want to be living in 3021 now rather than 2021? Why do you want that? Because I tell you what, life's not the worst right now, and
I mean, life's the best it's ever been in the world. It's only getting better for everyone, really.
Are you
Not
sure?
for everyone. There's currently missiles striking Gaza, so like,
Yeah.
Way to date the episode.
don't worry, George. I'm sure it'll pop back up.
I mean, just think about the technological advancement we'd have, and like in terms of medical as well. We'd probably cure a lot of diseases. We'd probably have
Yeah,
to
but
cure
think about the
cancer.
corporations rising up.
Rising up, back on the street.
Yeah.
Are you
But that
saying we're
might
going to have
not
like the
have
UNSC, one government body, and we're going to be going to other planets and colonizing?
Technically, the
Yeah.
the UNSC is not the governmental body in Halo. It is the United Nations Space Command.
Why does all of our questions come back to video games?
Because
we're
that's-
gamers.
We are what we call gamers. Also, George brought up Halo lore, so I now need to like forcibly
You
hold
know
myself
what?
back.
Halo's on Ben's list of games to play, and I said don't bother.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's overrated, I'll be honest.
It's a classic, though. I'd say I would. Ben, I'll play through all the Halo
Yeah,
games
but
with you.
that's like
Okay.
saying, because I really like Mass Effect and it's just being remade, that's like saying play Mass Effect because it's a classic, but if you weren't there to play Mass Effect when it first came out, it's complete shit now.
Mass
Like, I
Effect
like it
1 is
because it's got
garbage.
that. It is
Mass Effect 1 is
garbage to
such
play.
garbage. Oh my
And
god.
I still play it because I've got that nostalgia. I love that it's crap. But oh my god, I would not encourage anyone else to play Mass Effect now.
Okay, George. I was playing
Yeah.
for the first Mass Effect. It took me until the water planet to realize
Which
you could.
one? Oh, you're on about the where you have to. I don't want to spoil it because Ben's going to play it,
Okay.
but where you have to make
Yeah.
a decision between two characters.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of the planet, but I know what you're
Yeah.
on about.
So you know how that's quite near the end of the game.
Yeah.
I only then realized you could upgrade your gun with things you found on the floor.
Ah.
You know the different
It's-
ammo types. I only then realized. I was like, wait, I can add thermal rounds. I just
Yeah,
been
Frank's an
spent-
idiot. Frank's such a casual gamer that he doesn't understand really bad UI in games. When did you start gaming, Frank? Oh, I remember when UI used to be so bad. Oh. Anyway,
But back to the Library of
back to the
Alexandria.
library.
Yeah.
let's
Did
go
you
back
know
to Ben's
that
intellectual.
one of the scholars, I think he called Eratosthenes, something like that. He was able to calculate the circumference of the sun within a few miles, of circumference of the Earth within a few miles.
Oh, I'd be very impressed if he did it with the sun because
Yeah,
I know.
How did he do
he'd have
that? Did he do it by the rotation of it? How did he know it wasn't flat?
So he studied in Alexandria, so he started there, and then he went to a city further up the Nile, and he measured the shadows it created, and he worked it out.
Oh shit! That's because to be fair, even the ancient Greeks knew the world was round.
Yeah, and
Sorry,
this was 2,000
I know
years
this is a-
before Copernicus.
I know this is a controversial statement to say on the internet, but the confused Yorkshiremen are firm believers that the Earth is round.
Whoa, speak for yourself.
Oh, the cube.
We are spherists. Filthy
Actually, I think it's more of an oval.
I believe in globe Earth.
God.
To be fair, but like, how much more advanced would tech be? It's always a weird thing because I guess when you're living in a certain level of technology, it's hard to imagine 1,000 years in the future. Because if you went 1,000 years in the past, right? That's what? Fucking
Crusades times.
yeah. Imagine turning around to them and explaining VR. Imagine turning around to them and explaining.
This time Yorkshire was still tribal.
I mean,
If
Yorkshire
not,
is.
It wasn't tribal.
Yorkshire is. I don't know what you're talking about. Yorkshire is still tribal.
Island one, I think.
Island one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Are we just trying to remember from?
Well, this time
it
was the Danelaw this time, 1,000 years ago in Yorkshire.
Was the Danelaw still around in the
I think
11th century? Don't think it was.
We're not in the 11th century. It's 2021, not 2121.
We're in the 21st century right now, so 1,000 years ago it'd be 11th century.
He is right. Yeah. He has got you there.
Yeah, you got the century right, but I thought you were saying the 1100s rather than the.
No, what about the 1000s?
1000s.
Yeah, because the centuries are very annoying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
When was the Library of Alexandria burnt?
Julius Caesar burnt it. So it was
out of spite.
Why? What couldn't?
It was
because
during
the
the
Romans
Civil
didn't
War
like the Egypts very much
in the Empire.
So they just thought we're just going to give him a bad time until they succumb to Romanism.
I mean, it was weird because his lover Cleopatra was over there, so burnt it.
Well, I didn't want to learn in things.
Yeah. But another
a very
scholar,
advanced man for his time.
another scholar that studied at Alexandria, who called Heron, he invented the steam engine.
You're going to remind me of the steam engine.
Fuck off! You think you're telling me they invented the steam one?
It did.
Steam engine in like
He
the
invented
600
the first prototype of steam engine like 2,000 years early, and that knowledge was lost because the lab got burned down.
So, are you telling me we'd have had trains like in the middle of the Roman Empire? Like,
yeah.
Oh, think about it this way though: we'd have trains in Egypt before we had them in the UK, before in England.
Yeah.
The entire
instead of it being Liverpool, it'd be Alexandria.
I mean, I feel like would we? Oh my god, we'd have been fucking.
We'd be sat there in our little tribal huts whilst Egypt is off building train systems.
yeah. The Egypt would show up with their fucking steamboats, and we'd be like, "What the fuck's going on here?"
The Vikings go out on an adventure, arrive in Egypt, and get shot down by dreadnoughts.
Yeah, like when.
I think there's a lot of repercussions with this, Ben. I don't think you thought this through very much. A lot of people would die.
Well, yeah, but people die in history
anyway.
That's why I just want to change WoW. People don't die there.
The entire balance of the world, sort of like the way power projection kind of has happened in the world, would change. Because with the Library of Alexandria and all this advanced tech coming out in Egypt, in the sort of the Middle East area, and that it would make it more the south of the Mediterranean would be the power, and that would be spreading up, as opposed to say north of the Mediterranean, Europe kind of spreading down.
It might still be in Rome because Rome held Egypt. So if they like use the knowledge, it'd still be coming out of Central Europe.
We'd just be saying all railways lead to Rome.
Yeah. Instead of...
Oh my god, that would have been sick.
yeah.
Oh man.
Think about how many Roman slaves could be transported on these trains. They'd have a right time.
Oh no! Oh no!
You just made the slave economy even worse, Ben.
I
I'm
mean,
sure there'd still been like slavery reforms eventually.
Well, they'd just have the slaves building the train tracks, wouldn't they?
It wouldn't have just been black people being slaves, it'd be everyone.
I never said that,
All
Ben.
races
Why did you
equal
wish?
slavery.
so you're telling me the way we solve racism then is by enslaving all races?
That's not
Yeah.
going to solving racism. That's a different question entirely.
oh, am I allowed to make that question? Oh, next episode. That's
If you
gonna
want
be
to
my
ask
question.
that question,
I'm
then
not
we
going
can
to ask
talk
that
about it.
question. I don't think that we are equipped to
I
solve
don't
that.
feel equipped to talk about racism. I think I'm the wrong person to ask about
I
racism.
also think I am the wrong person to ask. Oh,
That's pretty good.
Should ask you, okay.
I'm not going to do that. I ain't asking that
Let's not.
question.
I just hate
So
that I
you want-
mentioned slavery and it immediately goes, oh, racism.
I mean,
I think they're
that
two
is,
separate
Well, that's what
things.
everyone thinks.
Everyone
like
thinks it,
slavery
yeah,
is just black people, but it wasn't.
there
It's
was,
just because
there was
they were the most recent ones.
I would
yeah,
say, yeah.
and
but-
also we can still feel those effects. As well, the US can definitely feel those effects still. Just
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just in US there was slavery.
yeah, but a lot of the technically you weren't allowed to own slaves in the UK. You could have indentured servants or very poorly paid servants, but you weren't allowed to own slaves.
Yeah, but I'm just a very poorly paid servant of the government.
I guess, yes. But basically that was the thing. But it was all like traded away. We still profited off it, which is
Anyway,
fun.
back to historical events. Then
Back
again,
to the library.
Back to the lovely library.
Yeah.
It's going to have so much knowledge and the
We know a
scheme
lot more
train.
about the ancient cultures as well, like the Minoans and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of
we'd have records
history
on
would.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'd have-
because how they got stuff in the libraries, whenever a boat came into the city, they'd make them hand over all the books so they could make copies of it. And they'd hire people to go book hunting around the
That's
Mediterranean.
sick. I love that. That's
Because they aim to have every book in the world in that library.
How big
That's
must that
beautiful.
library? If it didn't get burnt down,
Imagine-
if they have to
imagine-
keep building another extension, knocking down the the Great
They'd have
Lighthouse of
computers
Alexandria.
1,000 years ago. They'd have it stored on like terabytes a day.
Yeah, but they'd have to have physical copies as well because
Yeah.
the
I
about
think
the
they
jobs?
kept the original copies as well, and they gave the copies
imagine.
to the
I'm
person.
not gonna lie, George. Imagine walking through that library. It would have been fucking beautiful.
It would
people
make me
think
sad
that
though, because
the
it'd be like all
Vatican
these
was it.
books, and I'm never going to be able to read all of them.
But you know they're there. You know that knowledge has been contained.
You know that someone knows it, yeah.
Some people think that the archives in the Vatican, they've got a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff from the library.
They probably do.
Yeah.
Like I
Not
want
one
to know
is
what's
it.
in the Vatican archives, other than
know.
like all the lists of paedophiles. Like, like
I'll put every book, just listed all that.
yeah. It's just they've got them
That's
all.
so big.
Oh god, there's so many. Oh,
Yeah.
But-
Anyway,
I had a joke answer as well for this question. It was, what if the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones are good?
oh, that is a major historical event.
I don't know. I'm happy with it being I'm happy with it being bad because people shut up about Game of Thrones. If the ending of Game of Thrones were good, people would still be talking about it, and I'd be like, you know what? I don't care. Shut up about Game of Thrones. But because it's bad, no one talks about it, and I love that.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I've spoken about it more since the ending because I know that talking about that upsets people.
Honestly, I don't care. After the first 3 seasons, I was a bit like, you know what? I'm a bit bored of Game of Thrones now.
Really?
I
I'd say
didn't
season
like
3 is
it.
when it proper kicked in.
I
Like,
watched.
season
I
3.
started watching Game of
season-
Thrones when I was like 12 or 13, and I finished it when I was 19. It's just like I stopped caring. I just did.
I guess.
I started watching it when the 5th season came out.
Yeah, I'm about the same. I was like 4th, 5th season, so I binged a lot of it.
Yeah.
5th season, I think, was where stuff started going a bit wobbly, and then 6th was like.
I like the
But
Battle of the
it's-
Bastards.
It's
was-
That was good.
That was,
it was
one of
good.
my favourite.
but it was like, it was just a weird scene.
But how
That's
much
just-
shit did you have to get through to get to there?
I didn't think
Jon
Subway
Snow.
were that bad.
You get to
You know-
watch Jon Snow walking round with a woman going, Jon Snow.
Hey, Ygritte is fucking great. Love.
I do
love
like
Ygritte.
her,
But
but her story's fucking boring.
Yeah, because she's not. She's mainly a plot device for Jon Snow's character development. That's what
Jon
she
Snow
is.
is a bit meh.
Well, because he's a standard protag. Jon Snow is a shonen protagonist. Changed my
He
mind.
is, or isn't he? He's not got his parents. He
Yeah,
goes off to do
he's
something.
he's the
He goes to the
chosen one.
hero course, which is the nice watch.
Yeah. He resurrects from the dead.
Oh,
then
Oh,
you've
what?
got Daenerys.
Yeah.
Don't do all
Daenerys
that
is my
character
least
development.
liked character. Do you remember Daenerys in the first two series? She is so annoying.
She like
Yeah.
it's interesting because her character grows throughout the whole thing, and she slowly becomes more like logical. And you're like, wow, this is nice. And then she's like, I'm crazy now. I'm going to burn everyone. Fuck you.
In 2
Why?
episodes.
Yeah. Took
What
2
about when a
episodes.
dragon gets shot out of
And why
sky?
did you bring
couldn't
Game
see
of
it?
Thrones up? I don't want to talk about Game of Thrones. It's so boring.
Oh, okay.
This is
Oh,
the
thanks
second
for
time Game of
talking about
Thrones stuff has popped up on this podcast. by the
Is
way.
it? I can't. This is how little I care about Game of Thrones. I don't remember the first time it came up on the podcast. I can't remember talking about Game of Thrones before.
Oh.
It's so mid, like it is. Like it's entertaining, but it's not worth all the hype. People are just like, oh, loads of people get killed. Oh. It's like, I don't
I don't
care.
think that many people got killed, to be honest.
Well, it was after Red Wedding, they're like, oh, they killed off all these major characters. And they aren't
Yeah.
even major characters.
Like 2 characters.
Yeah, like it was.
It was like,
Eh,
oh, Robb Stark,
It was
he's
Robb
the new
and,
king of the North.
Alan.
What about when Ned Stark died? He was king of the North. Well, he wasn't king of the North, but he was warden of the North. Oh, just
Yeah,
shut
Warden.
up.
Okay, so Ben's historical event he's changing is either the burning of the Library of Alexandria
Yeah.
or the ending of Game of Thrones.
I did have one over, but we can go over if you want.
We're gonna
What would
skip up-
you change?
Okay. So I feel like one of the biggest things I'd change is probably the Treaty of Versailles. Not gonna lie. I'd probably just try and stop World War II in the fucking bud. Like, just
Yeah, but
Well, you
what have
just
you got to
said World
change
War
to
One.
stop World War Two?
World
You
War
just-
One. Just say World War One didn't happen.
Ooh, fucking big brain.
Because the whole
Like-
thing about World War One is they just set up for World War Two.
Yeah, World War One.
Well,
I
so you're
would-
saying what's his face? I can't remember his name. Didn't get assassinated.
Ferdinand.
Franz
Franz
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand. Either he doesn't get assassinated, or his assassination doesn't lead into the war. And then I feel like I don't know if it's an inevitable thing, or if I'm able to just go, yeah, this World War One just doesn't happen. It all gets
Ah.
resolved.
As bad as this sound, I think would be a bad thing not to have World War One and World War Two, because if now that we've had those world wars, we know the horror of it. And if we hadn't had a world war up to now, and we had the first world war now, I don't think we'd survive it.
I
You
feel
think
like
nuclear weapons would have been made? Yeah. If
I feel like
World
they
War
wouldn't have. I feel like they wouldn't have.
We wouldn't be as technologically advanced as we are, because the war
feel like-
definitely spurred that on.
technology
Like,
always
it's
advanced
awful to
during
think
that
about
time.
World War One and World War Two, but there has been good things that come out of them,
I'd argue that the
and a lot
massive
we've
amounts-
learned from it.
That's true, but I don't think we wouldn't have nuclear weapons right now. And I'm not going to lie, I think humanity would genuinely be better off without the capability to nuke itself into fucking oblivion.
There'd be more wars though.
I feel like you'd have more, but they'd be smaller, if you get me.
Yeah, but because the cost of a war right now is so severe with nuclear weapons and everything like that, it deters people off from war, because no matter what you do, if you declare a war, you're not gonna enjoy that war. It's not gonna be like a stomp. So
You
to
know,
speak.
if World War One didn't happen, Soviet Union probably wouldn't have happened.
That is true. The Tsardom would probably have still been
It'd still
taken.
be the Russian Federation also, wouldn't it? Russian
Well,
Empire.
yeah, they wouldn't have changed from being a Tsardom.
Yeah.
Though you could argue that Tsar Nicholas was already fucking incompetent enough that he probably would
Yeah,
have
he was.
fucked up his way into getting the Soviet Union off the ground anyway. And you probably wouldn't have had the rise of, say, the extreme ideologies that you got.
Well,
leading
I
up to
think
World War
Also,
Two.
another thing that'd make you both really sad. There wouldn't be
What?
anime.
That is true. There would be no
Japan
anime.
always finds a way, then.
Japanimation.
Well,
It'd all be
Japan wouldn't
tradition.
have got to the point to make anime.
That is true. Actually,
Anime.
would the Meiji reforms have still happened in Japan?
I don't know enough about Japan, to be honest. So
I'm a weeb, so
Are you a weeb?
I think the Meiji reforms that kind of changed Japan into a more militaristic nation happened kind of separately to World War One, I'd say. And it kind of just took advantage of the whole situation of World War One. So I guess it would have changed in the Meiji. Japan would probably still be being run by the Meiji dynasty.
I think they'd be still a lot more isolationist than they are now.
Yeah,
Because before World War One or World War Two, they were still very isolationist. I think I think the most northern part of Hokkaido, they have that's where all their trade came in at that point, and they have literally like European architecture there. And it's just like that one place that was being traded with throughout all of Japan, and it was really regulated and things like that.
yeah.
But I don't know actually if World War One or World War Two made them less isolationist.
Well,
I think
when
it definitely made
America
them more
came over,
wary.
when
America
came
did what America did.
Yeah, America went, we own you now for a little bit, and then went, oh, we'll leave now, but you're now our best friend? America kind of like abused Japan into being an ally, which is kind of weird, not gonna lie. Kind of fucked when you think about it.
what they do with Western world, isn't it? Break
I
them
mean,
down to other friends.
let's not talk about America's foreign policy right now. So would you say that getting rid of World War One and sort of like causing that to go?
World War Two wouldn't have happened if it weren't for World War One.
Yeah, but
'Cause that's
surely
what
there'd have
caused
been
German
something
aggression.
else that caused a war.
Something else would have probably caused a different world war, but the stuff that World War One imposed on Germany caused its aggression in World War Two. Like Hitler probably wouldn't have come to power and tried to get his Lebensraum.
There wouldn't have been the economic unrest that led to be people so willing to accept fascism.
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of the reasons why your sort of average Joe was willing to sort of like go with that ideology, it wasn't that they were all evil, massive racists who hate everyone who's different. It's that, like, economically, their situation was fucked. Someone came along and told them, there's a different way to do this. We can make things better for you and your family. And that's what it always comes down to. A lot of the time, when an ideology moves and takes over a country, it's never that everyone in the nation genuinely believes this. Not everyone in the Soviet Union, not everyone was like, oh, I love communism and I love all of the ideals of Karl Marx and I've read them all and I read all the books. They went, oh, my family isn't being fed. This new government says they will feed my family. This new government has given me an enemy with the communism as the bourgeoisie and all that, and they are taking the food, and so it gives you this motivation to change something. That's generally how you sort of big sweeps in ideology happen across a nation scale.
In that case, if we're on about avoiding a war, why don't we just change history so that anti-Semitism never becomes a thing? Is there a way
Are we
to do
saying
that?
specifically anti-Semitism, or are you just talking about racism in general? Like general, because I feel like if we just sort of go into the human brain and remove,
yeah, can we just reprogram humans?
can we just go?
I'm going to go back to
when
the simulation was made and change the code.
People, the bit of history I'm going to change. People aren't pricks.
Yeah, but surely there's one thing you can change to remove the prickiness from now. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I feel like if you removed World War One, there'd still be another World War One to replace it.
But I don't think the stuff that got imposed on Germany would have happened necessarily.
Yeah, the Treaty of Versailles would have been different.
But what if there were a world war that was different and it was a country that wasn't Germany, had all of these
there's like
treaties
Spain
put onto them,
France,
and then they cause another world war?
Are you saying that just because of the increase in tech and like the stuff that was the powder keg that was before World War One?
I'm just saying, even if you remove World War One, I think there's going to be something else that causes another world war that might leave us with a worse future than we have now. Like, we're in a pretty good place to say we've been through 2 world wars. Like we are. I think we've done well for ourselves. Well,
We just
Uh,
can't do.
the
We just
generations
can't do a
before
third.
us.
Can't do a third. We're
Well, we
not
don't know
allowed
unless
that.
we try, do we?
mm.
I don't think we should try.
No, I
I
don't
think-
either. I'm quite
I think-
happy not being conscripted.
I don't think. Oh God. If we got conscripted, would we be put in the same regiment? Do you think?
The Yorkshire
No, it's,
Regiment.
they were moved after World War One because all the regiments had were just the people's towns. Each regiment, so there'd be a regiment for like Leeds or something. So all
Yeah.
the men from Leeds would be in the same regiment. But then, say battle of Somme happened, their regiment moved forward. All of the men in Leeds would get wiped out. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
happened.
That's
We're
true.
laughing, but that's quite horrific.
That's like, oh fuck, that's everyone from that
You
town's
can just
gone.
imagine.
But that happened with
Windsor Churchill
villages.
be like,
So,
I don't like Leeds today. Push them forwards.
yeah.
Fuck, the amount of letters.
So then they just
Oh.
changed that in World War Two.
I mean,
Just
Yeah.
so that the entire villages won't get wiped out.
that's fucking.
You'd
Interesting.
think they'd think about that.
Well, to be fair, in World War One, the French were still marching in like regular columns, like from like the Napoleonic era. Like they still had like bright blue uniforms at the start of World War One.
Yeah, yeah, they did.
So they marched in and then got machine gunned, and it was like, oh, that's not very good.
Yeah.
So are you saying that if I got rid of World War One, we don't have Franz Ferdinand arrested? Ben thinks it would have led to a less bad
Arrested?
war.
Do you mean
Arrested.
assassinated?
Oh,
Well,
you're
it'd be
under
less
arrest.
bad. It just the World War Two that we knew happened wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the World War II we know could have gone a lot worse. I think we
true.
quite
We could
come
have
out of it
lost.
quite good.
I mean, yeah, but it also could have not been worse.
It could have
Yeah,
been
but
better.
you can't completely change history for something. It might not be worse, but it could be a lot worse. Are you sure you want? You're making this change in history. Are you sure you want that weight on your shoulders?
It was Frank that's making it.
That's
Oh,
why I just
shit.
changed something simple.
Oh yeah, what did you change? Battle for
That's
Azeroth.
in Battle for Azeroth. Get rid of it. You know what? Sylvanas wouldn't even be a character. Just get rid of her.
I mean,
She were awful in Heroes at Storm. She were awful to play against. She'd just shut down your towers, and then you'd have to defend that lane for the rest of the game because the towers had no ammo. And then they changed it so the ammo regenerated, but it was still a pain in the ass because you destroy one tower in the first 10 seconds, and then you've got to defend a lane with one less tower than the other person.
I think George could spend quite a lot of time talking with us about Heroes of the Storm. Should
Yeah,
my
I
next
could.
question be Heroes of the Storm themed so that we can get
Who's your favourite Heroes of the Storm character?
nobody's gonna listen to the podcast.
Zul'jin? Was he in there?
Zul'jin, he was
He
quite
was
strong
in
when he
there.
came
Well,
out.
not the guy with two axes.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Cho'Gall, because you had to play him as two
Ah.
people.
You know
Need
what,
friends for that,
Cho'Gall, you
Frank.
joke about him, but he was alright in competitive scenes.
Okay.
Anyway,
Wait, when you played Cho'Gall, did you have one less person on your team?
Yeah.
you had one less model like player, but two people played one character.
Wait, so two people had to pick Cho'Gall for someone to play Cho'Gall?
Yeah, so someone had to
Yeah.
pick Cho and someone had to pick Gaul. Cho had the
What?
movement and everything, Gaul had all of the magic abilities.
That sounds pretty
He was
good.
really strong if played well, because obviously he had two players' hit points. And he was broken sometimes if he played well. But
I think George wants us to play Heroes of the Storm.
I don't
don't
want to
want
play
to.
Heroes of the Storm. I've not played it in 3 years. It can stay out of my video games.
Okay.
They've made a lot of changes.
He's still
Again,
going World War
I
One.
remember when they added Overwatch characters. Oh, that was a mistake.
You know what? I'm gonna get rid of World War One because fuck it. Let's see what happens.
But not World War Two.
Well, hopefully it's a whammy. Hopefully it's a double whammy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Yeah.
Personally.
Ben's on my side here. Ben, you're gonna help me get rid of. You're gonna help me save Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
You know,
You
getting
can
rid of
help me.
World War is a very noble thing. I'm just going to get rid of. But Battle for Azeroth is basically a World War, just in a video game.
Ooh, that's true. That's true. You know, truly just as noble. And Ben's gonna preserve.
In fact, do I
human
want to
knowledge.
get rid of Battle for Azeroth? Because if I don't get rid of it, I'd probably still be playing WoW.
Oh fuck!
Ooh, might have cooked myself there.
Do you want to change your answer?
Nah, I'll just stick with it. I can't be bothered thinking of something historical to change.
Well, you did. You did.
Or what's your question then, George?
Okay, my question, a bit, I say light-hard, it's probably not going to end up being light-hard. If you could create any theme park, any theme you want, it doesn't have to be roller coasters, it can be doing whatever you want, it's just a park with a theme. If you could create any theme park, what would you create?
Oh.
You've got all the freedom in the world.
Am I allowed animals?
Yeah,
Like
well, a
zoos?
zoo's basically a park.
Well,
That sort of
Flamingo
thing.
Land's kind of a. Does Flamingo Land have rides?
It has a zoo in it. Yeah, and it has rides.
Man, why doesn't the roller coaster? There should be a roller coaster, right? Flamingo Land that like sends you over like a tiger enclosure.
I
I
mean,
think that
the log flume's
Oh,
right
the
next to
log
the
flume
tiger
breaks down.
enclosure.
I think that'd be rad as
Oh
fuck.
my god.
I want a roller coaster that takes me through a wild animal enclosure.
You can get like those slides that go through like shark tanks. There's that one in, I think
Oh my
it's
god.
it's in India, I think I want to say. I want to say, but there's like this big slide, and then you go into this shark tank, and then you just go through pipe really fast, and then you end the slide.
Oh, that's
Because water
rad.
parks are cool. They are fun, but you can only get so much fun out of a water park. I remember when I went to last time I went to a proper water park. I went down the do you know they call it like the kamikaze? That really tall one where it's just like a sheer drop.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And you just go down there. And I went down there like 5 times in a row, and my ass was so sore from hitting the water at the bottom. And I was just out of commission for the rest of the day. So I don't know if I'd create a water park. I mean,
I'm immediately thinking dinosaur theme park, but I just like dinosaurs.
but you got to. Well, if you can bring dinosaurs back, but
if I could just
it's
make
a pretty
Jurassic
risky
Park,
thing to do.
I don't know what you're talking about. There is no movies that have told me that bringing dinosaurs back.
Is enslaving dinosaurs would be part of your park animal cruelty?
Is it
Or
enslaving?
is it going to be more like a zoo?
Are you going to ask me whether or not a zoo is evil or good?
Well, if you're using dinosaurs specifically for a theme park and they have no other purpose, I would say that's a bad thing.
I'd say that. Hey,
If
they
you're
were
bringing them
extinct.
back to live and thrive, then yeah,
I'm bringing
sure.
them back to live, but also
No, you're
Would
just bringing
you
them back for
reintroduce them to
entertainment.
the wild?
I could. Who's going to stop me?
The
If I-
anti-dinosaur.
Just ruin the food chain.
company.
If I just introduce a single T-Rex into the savannah and just see what happens.
I don't think
Well,
much
it's
has happened
gonna
with
die out,
one.
innit? 'Cause there's
It
only
die
one.
straight away.
So I release a small herd of T-Rexes
God.
into
A mummy
Coventry.
T-Rex and its kin.
Yeah. I release a set of Velociraptors into London and just see what goes down. Actually, Velociraptors were tiny. They were only like fucking
They
size of
get
turkey.
shot, won't they? Right.
Yeah, I
police.
feel like if any animal went round murdering people in London, it would get put down quite fast.
Yeah.
Just by Londoners. It wouldn't even be by the government. The Londoners.
With a new Harambe.
Oh, my boy. We
How
salute.
long ago was that
That was
now?
2016.
I'll have you know, Harambe, it may
Jesus.
have happened a long time ago, but it lives on in our hearts. Amazing Grace.
You make a
Oh.
Harambe themed park. All about
Oh my
yes!
God.
It's
Oh my
filled
God.
with it's filled with 2016 memes, like T-posing and like fuck, I can't T-pose. I don't have the space to
I'd
T-pose.
make a Game of Thrones theme.
Oh my god.
That is a joke. I would not do that.
Oh, what would you do at a Game of Thrones themed park?
I really want to go to Harry Potter World. I ain't gone, but I like Harry Potter. I like. Oh, is it good?
Pretty
then?
decent. Yeah.
Oh, I'd spend so much money on the worthless merch though.
Yeah,
Like butterbeer.
What does it
Very
taste
sweet.
like then?
Very sweet.
Oh, I don't like sweet things.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
butter beer. Like, I think it's described as sweet in the books actually. So yeah, that would
It
make
is,
sense.
yeah.
It's like sickly sweet, if I remember right.
The foam stuff on top tastes very nice. The actual drink is just a bit average, really.
How much does it cost? I bet it's
I
expensive.
think
Isn't it?
I got it's a mug of it as well. I think it's keep like a $5, I think.
Oh, that's not bad. Oh,
I think it was something like that. Yeah,
I get
when does
drunk
it
off
open?
butterbeer.
it's not alcoholic.
What do you mean it's non-alcohol? I'm gonna. I want to find a butterbeer recipe.
Right, Frank, if it's alcoholic, why is Harry Potter at 11
know.
drinking butterbeer?
Does he drink butterbeer at 11? I thought he wasn't allowed to. I can't remember that being.
He's not. You're not allowed to go to Hogsmeade, but you can still get butterbeer.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Wizarding World's drinking laws are. Like,
And they actually have a trip to Hogsmeade in the third book.
So-
Yeah, third book, because it's when what's his face?
Oh, yeah.
Severus Black. Severus Black.
Severus Black.
Severus Black. Sirius Black.
Yeah,
is-
serious.
is that
very
one about?
serious.
Which then is 13. So he
Yeah.
still can't.
Yeah,
And he
that's
has
fair.
butterbeer. and-
Yeah.
Oh,
That's not very original. That's something that already exists. I don't know what I'd make a
Well-
theme park about.
well, anything that's got like the mass merchandising appeal has probably already had a theme park.
I won't
made
make
about
my
it.
theme park just about making money. I'd make it an experience. Maybe like a
There's a.
think I'd
like
do
something
like
you
a-
wouldn't get.
I think I'd do like a medieval one.
Ooh!
and,
Have
We'll be
jousting
like,
going on.
maybe you could have like
Is it
foam
gonna-
jousting
Oh!
things.
Is it
Well,
going to
we
be
did
like
like a-
fully medieval, like the laws in medieval time, or is it going to have to stand up to modern day laws?
It's just a Renaissance
You can't
fair.
have
is what
people
you're doing.
dying.
Yeah, we're
at a
just
fair, man.
LARPing there. Getting like
It's
10-year-olds to LARP.
Oh my
You're
god!
going to have
it's-
a LARPing theme park.
Oh, you just have a you just have jousting going on as like a show that people watch.
Yeah.
A roller coaster that's like dragon shaped or
you
something
you,
like
you
that.
can have the classic ship ride.
Oh yeah, it's like aha, we're traveling.
Yeah.
Why not just
or-
have
or
an
we did like
actual
a,
pirate ship? Well, no, you don't have pirate ships in medieval time. What am I saying?
or we did like
A
a
Viking ship.
trebuchet or castle ride. You get to sit in one, you get fired off into like a
That sounds
cushioned
safe.
area. It's a cushioned area.
Okay, someone's gonna snap their neck. Then.
Ben, would you
Oh.
get on the trebuchet ride, which is literally it
I
fires
was-
you out of a trebuchet?
I'm sure I've seen like a ride or something before where you're in like a Velcro suit. You jump onto like a Velcro.
There's a
wall.
difference between jumping onto a Velcro or
You get
being
fired off into it a bit.
fired out of a trebuchet.
I mean, you can do it
Trebuchets-
slower speeds.
A trebuchet is a fire things pretty hard.
I'm a lot
You don't have to
lighter than a
work-
rock, Ben. I will
You
go
don't have to
very
make
far.
it like exactly like a trebuchet. You can like just do it up a bit so
Okay,
it looks like
trebuchet
one.
themed rides.
Yeah.
You could probably do like yeah. Not gonna lie, I like Ben's medieval one. That
Well,
sounds
there's
sick as fuck.
like a siege battle thing, but you use like for like ballistas, you have like water cannon instead.
Oh, the water cannons.
Yeah, and you have like foam swords and shit.
And instead of pouring hot tar on people, you
You just
pour
pour water.
boiling water on
Boiling
instead.
water, yeah.
Slightly hot water. Warm water.
No, it's LARPing gear, but they've also the turrets. They're firing ballistas. They're firing paintballs at you.
Oh, and you get to try on full plate mail and everything.
Oh yeah, they could do that full plate mail and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
and
It
it
could
would
be
also
like the
for
Royal
us.
Armories, but you actually
Yeah.
get to equip the armories.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't
Oh,
go
man.
up to gun stage.
that's true.
Well,
It's
we
always
can have
weird
it
when I
at
go.
the start of Renaissance where they're attacking Constantinople in 1453. Oh, so let's start of gunpowder.
Well, you said medieval, not Renaissance.
That's true.
Yeah, but this is like the high Middle Ages.
Yeah,
Like,
because a
that's
lot of the
at
time
the
when
end of
people
it.
talk about a lot of the time when people talk about medieval, they're taking like a fucking big chunk of history and they just smack it together.
Yeah, it went on
Yeah.
for quite a while. What were you like? Nearly
Medieval was like
400.
700 till 1453 or something.
Yeah.
Yes, I think medieval theme park. That sounds
medieval
fun.
medieval theme park does sound fun.
Yeah.
I feel like the dinosaur one, people already do that. There's already like plenty of dinosaur walks and stuff like that. And unless I'm actually making the Jurassic Park dinosaurs, it's pointless. People have already done this. This has
Yeah.
been done before.
The problem
It's
with
been
doing
done-
something like that, though, is everyone would come see the dinosaurs and be like, "Oh, I've seen dinosaurs now," and then you get bored of it. And then you get to the point where you start breeding new dinosaurs for people to see. And
Have
then
you heard
that-
of Jurassic World? That's the plot of Jurassic World.
Yeah, that is the plot of that.
Also, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
You think I'm not charging people fucking out the ass to see dinosaurs?
I'll be honest with you, if I got charged a lot of money, I'd be like, I'm okay not seeing dinosaurs.
That's fair.
Like, honestly, I just don't care.
Wait.
But then again, this theme park's for you, Frank.
Yeah.
For your own personal.
Yeah, we're already not giving a shit about the profits, and I'd love to see dinosaurs. I'm doing this just for me.
Why do you do a Warhammer themed park?
Oh, because like
You could have a pilotable dreadnought.
it would be sick. No, I have to get crippled first to be able to put in it.
Oh.
Because the dreadnought, you have to be like injured to near death to be allowed to be integrated. So you get the shit beaten out of you, and then you get put in the ride.
You go in as a space marine, get shot at, lose a few arms, a few limbs, and then you get put in a dreadnought, and then you just can't leave.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, it'd just be a very elaborate paintballing scenario. Like you'd just be running.
How do you simulate a bolter with paintballs?
It's a so you know how it's a mass reactive explosive shell. So it's a big cartridge. When it hits you, there's loads of paintballs in there, and they detonate as well, and you just die.
I want to say that the 40k universe is not somewhere I'd want to visit.
What
Oh,
Age
yeah,
of Sigmar one? Would you do
Age of
that?
Sigmar's still horrifying. Like there's still like orcs and vampires and monsters everywhere.
Everything that's not Sigmarian in Age of Sigmar is trying to kill you, man.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Warhammer Lords of this.
Oh, it's so fucked. Basically, one of the lines in 40k is it's the grim darkness of the far future. There is only war. You are one of an infinite number of humans stuck in an uncaring system. Basically, it's all dystopia. Like you're fucked wherever you are in the galaxy.
It's not a
You're
nice time.
You are either a guardsman going to go die in a massive war to never be remembered, or you're a manufactory worker who's going to die in a manufactorum accident and never be remembered. Like, that's just your lot.
I'm sure you can make some rides out of it.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'd love to do the paintballing setup where you're doing... George, imagine this. Bunch of guardsmen, right? You've got your paintballers. They're your lasguns. They fire regular paintballs. A flamer, it's just a paint spray. It just fires a torrent of paint.
What about if you put Adaptus Titanicus in there?
Ooh, a Titan? Oh, not gonna lie, I'd love a Titan ride. That'd be cool.
You just get to pilot a Titan, a paintball Titan.
Oh,
If you pay exclusive money, you get to enter the paintball ring with a Titan.
What? And you just kill people. You just step on people. Oh.
Well, if you're theme park, if you want people to be stepped on, you're theme park.
Oh my god.
Okay, I've got a new idea for a theme park, guys.
18 plus.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea.
what a
I'd
sex
also own a theme park.
Well, yeah. Oh, in fact, it's
It would get so dirty. As in, like, imagine the cleanup
BDSM
column.
park.
I know.
Like, I don't ever want to be the guy. Like, who cleans up in a brothel?
The cleaner.
Like, that's got. Imagine walking to every room and it's like, this is sticky.
You just pay the prostitutes the hourly rate.
I mean, if it were a good paying job, I won't mind cleaning a brothel. You just got to make sure you got your gloves on and stuff, and it's just cleaning, isn't it?
It's just a cleaning job.
I honestly don't mind cleaning up.
Just think about what cleaning
If
up
I'm
to do
getting
in
paid
hotel
money,
rooms.
with good money, I wouldn't mind cleaning up other people's love juices.
The word love juices is, I think, worse than just saying cum. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but it won't be that bad. It won't be that bad. It's only like saying cleaning up a restaurant where people have dribbled on table because they can't eat properly.
You can do it in hotels when they clean up bed.
Or cleaning up bed or cleaning up sick.
That's true. Poor hotel workers. How many times do you reckon they've come into a room, found like the bin full of condoms, and gone, oh, "Fuck."
Well, that's easy. You don't need to touch them then. They're already in the bin. You just zip the bin.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Tie it up.
Yeah, you just like,
throw it away.
Yeah, but then you look over at the bed and you know what's happened in there, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
So we've
back
already.
to theme parks.
So the sex theme park is a bad idea. I feel like a Warhammer theme park would be fun, but like, there's only so much you can do. I think a lot of the
it's a
appeal
niche
of
market.
Yeah, it's a very niche thing, and I feel like I'd much rather do like a paintballing thing themed in that setting.
You make a paintball park, but have lots of different themes on different maps that you've
Yes, but that's just having a paintballing. I'd have loads of different themes.
Well, it's paintball theme park. You could do that.
Yeah, so like you go into different areas. You're like, here's the fucking Halo bit. Here's the fucking.
I knew you. I don't know why, but he's gonna say Halo in my head. I'm like, this is gonna be the Halo ring.
Yeah, I would have different ones set up for different games and stuff like that. Like during the school
you can have a battle royale theme park.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, during the school holidays, George, I'd open up the Fortnite themed bit.
Oh, now you're talking money, Frank. Now you're talking money.
Oh,
you can sell lots of different costumes to wear as well.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh,
god, custom looking ones like the Halo assault rifle. I can go.
he's gonna go grab his Halo assault rifle. Would you
So,
like
like-
Oh my
to
God.
tell the audience how much you spent on that?
We're not talking about how much I spent on the Halo assault rifle, but like you could do like sort of themed paintball guns like that, and you'd have like so
I
you
want to
have.
dress up as a grunt. I want 2 plasma grenades.
Oh, I don't know how you do grenades. Oh, they just be
There is grenades in paintball
yeah.
places.
Oh.
It explodes
I-
paint.
Yeah.
Oh, you could have a
So,
Splatoon themed one where you turn into
you
a
could-
squid.
well, you wouldn't be able to turn into a squid, but the outfit would make you look like a squid. I'm not gonna. I love this guy. I love this thing. I'm gonna have to put that away so I don't pick it up at random. Ugh. But yeah,
Could have
a different themed paintball area. I think that'd be really fun, and also
Yeah.
profitable. Though
It
I
would
don't
be
know.
profitable because you could just have it, and then you could have like major corporations like Disney and stuff rent it out to have like a Disney, like a Star Wars themed one for
Oh,
this amount of time.
Well, you probably have to pay them for the rights. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
No,
So-
but they'd pay you to allow them to set up this Star Wars bit in your theme park.
Oh, so
it's
you're saying that
renting
they're
out
getting the
your
commission?
party theme park so that they can set up their
Oh.
Star Wars bit in
I
there.
don't know how that. I feel like it would probably.
Then again, it's
work
Disney.
more
They'll just buy it. They'll just buy it
Yeah.
and make it a Star Wars theme
on-
park.
Disney would just make their own one.
Yeah.
Like, you could
Oh,
probably
yeah,
very
you could do
easily
that.
make a. You could probably very easily make a Star Wars themed one. That'd work. Your rebels and your stormtroopers and stuff like that. Or your clones and your. It's easier to do rebels versus stormtroopers than it is clones versus droids actually, because
How do you turn into a droid? I want to be a droidica.
and whatever I'd probably do a Call of Duty one because that'd sell. That'd sell.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're thinking money now. But what
Well,
about
yeah.
you? If it's for you,
Oh, if it's for
can-
me, I'm just gonna do the Halo one. I'm just gonna be running around with the Halo one all day.
I do a Mass
sort
Effect
of
when
play
I want
Halo,
to be a
don't you?
Krogan with the gravity hammer. Well, it's not
I-
called a
I
gravity
mean-
hammer. I can't remember what it's called in Mass Effect.
I feel like the Mass Effect one might work. I feel like you'd probably just make the one. I feel like you'd probably make one novelty gun for each one. I guess.
Ooh. I would
So
just,
you'd make the N7 blaster for Mass Effect. You'd make the Halo assault rifle.
you
for
mean
the
the
Halo
M8
one.
Avenger?
I don't give a fuck.
It means the M8 Avenger, Ben.
Okay.
Okay, and
Which
then
is
you
a better
just make,
weapon than that Halo one.
you'd get the Fortnite guns that they have in Fortnite. What's
Real
the-
guns like the Scar and stuff.
Yes, and oh my god, I could just reuse the COD ones.
Yeah.
Man, this just works. You get the Fortnite rocket launcher. Just...
You're gonna
But-
sell
but-
the John Wick suit.
John Wick theme park where you get to be John Wick. Oh, that'd be quite cool. No, that'd be terrifying. Though, imagine having that many people trying to kill you and you've got to kill all of them. That would not be a fun theme park. That'd be. You'd feel
Well, I feel like
cool, but
if you
you
had-
probably if no one's John Wick, you'd die.
I feel like the actors, as long as it's like a paintball theme thing, like as long as your actors are like very good at pretending to hit you, like pretending to be fighting you.
Yeah, but who wants to be pretended to be hit? If I'm paying for a theme park experience to be John Wick, I want to feel that punch. I want to throw 7 knives into a dead body.
You want to kill people. You want a murder party. I'm not gonna lie. I really like my idea of a themed paintballing setup.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good idea. When we were talking about
is.
Halo and Mass Effect, I was thinking maybe in a future where we're in space, a space theme park where people get to just go up to
I've
space,
seen
go to the theme
ZOG.
park, and then just like get to do space activities.
Elon Musk is probably already working on that.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. If I could go to any theme park, I'd like to go to a space theme park where you just you
Hmm.
get to go up there in a shuttle or rocket or whatever it is.
It's be in
Spend a
space.
day in, or maybe a weekend in a space theme park. where you can go to the space bar, go to the.
It's just old normal
You
theme
can-
park things, but it says it's space.
You can
at the start.
play space dodgeball,
Oh.
Space ball.
baseball, and then you just get to descend back down to Earth in a rocket. Ah.
So what was the parks? It was Benstone and medieval themed. George, what was yours?
Oh, I haven't even thought of one yet. We haven't even got to me.
Oh, have you not
Sure.
thought of one yet? Oh, George,
Uh,
what's your
uh,
park?
I don't know. I was thinking like do you know like a haunted house sort of thing, but on steroids, like a haunted theme park Where it's because
Ah,
I've recently played Resident Evil Village and I love it. Just literally the village from Resident Evil with all of its danger and stuff, just put in a theme park. But obviously it doesn't kill you. It just simulates that fear. I like something like that. Something that's designed to scare people. It's like an experience. And
I
I'm
feel
not,
like
So an
it would be a
extreme haunted house.
it would
yeah,
be a
like
really
extreme horror park.
while
But
it
it's
would
like
be a really cool thing. I would never go.
Yeah, neither.
it would because I don't know. I quite like that feeling of being scared. It's why I like scary games. 'Cause it's like you don't
I
get
won't,
that rush
I won't
anywhere
s-
else.
I won't say any names to anyone out loud, but I went to a horror, a sort of like scary house with a girl, and spent like half the time hiding behind them. I'll tell you guys later who it was, but it was quite funny. Like, they were taking the piss out of me for a solid week after that. It was
Was it
quite funny.
someone who's that tiny that you can't hide behind them anyway?
We're not going to go into exactly who it is.
It was them.
Okay.
But yeah,
Uh,
I think that something like that'd be cool. Like it's just like a haunted mansion, and there's like paid actors to be like, I don't know what to be like. Maybe. I want to say vampires, but because I've already mentioned Resident Evil Village, everyone's thinking, big mommy vampire, step on me. No, not like that. Not like big man blood vampire, but actually vampires that
what
are
about
scary.
if we do want a big mommy vampire to step on us?
I was thinking more scary vampires.
You go to the brothel theme park.
Oh, the
You go
sex
to the
part.
the
Yeah.
succubus park.
Oh, fucking.
But you have like
God.
demons in the mansion. It's just like a mansion where you just like you go in through one. It's like an IKEA. IKEA. You go in through one part and you can't exit until you get to the exit, and you've got to go through this big haunted mansion
Oh,
just to get to the end.
there's got to be a point where you're allowed to bail, right? I can't.
And it's like in the thing, it's like you've got to sign like a script to say if you die in this, but there's no chance of you actually dying. They just make you think that you can die in this park to get you. You're like, oh my god, I might die here.
That's
Like that
cool.
horror
Heart
aspect.
attacks.
Yeah, and then they've
Well,
already
you can
signed
say
the
about
thing.
anything. People
Yeah.
can have heart attacks on roller coasters because they're scared of heights, but they choose to go on that roller coaster. I'm not forcing people to go to this horror theme park.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
not
think
like
it'd be
a
a really
this
cool
isn't a
idea.
Saw scenario or a Sonaria.
It's not like Hunger Games where you like these people from this village have to go through the haunted mansion of death. It's just like if you want to go to the theme park, you can. I think it's a cool idea. I'd like to do something like that, where I feel like my life's in danger, and it's like, oh, I've got to live.
I would not want that.
Neither would I.
I would be
I don't
very
know,
upset.
I feel like there's not that many times in my life because I've got such a comfortable life in the 21st century that I never really get scared. I just want that. I want to feel that feeling of being scared. I don't know why. It's just
You want to be terrified. You want to shit
Yeah.
your pants.
I want to shit my pants in a mansion and then throw up in the sink.
Who's gonna know about this?
No, but I'm gonna keep bringing it up. But yeah, I think that's what I do. I think they're like a horror theme park that's like designed to scare you. The horror IKEA.
So we've got the horror IKEA, we've got medieval land, and we've got Fortnite paintball.
Paintball land.
Yeah, we got paintball land with different paintballing areas. I'd need so much fucking. To be fair, I'm trying to think of like the logistics of building it. You wouldn't actually need to do anything really fancy. You just need a lot of woodland, and then you just sort of build like little prefab areas in each one.
It depends. Are you building the entire Halo ring for people to play the Halo experience?
Well, no, you probably just make the Blood Gulch map. You know, the two with the two bases.
Oh god, yeah, you could
you
just
just
make
build-
the maps.
You just build the two
Okay.
bases.
I
and
want to
you've
be
got
on Forge World.
Go fuck yourself. And with like the Fortnite one, you just build like a little bit for each of the areas.
Twisted
I get-
Towers, Tilted Towers. That's what it were called.
I
I don't know if that's
don't-
still in the game. It's
I
I think
don't
it's gone
know.
now. I'm out of town
It's
as
been
well.
gone like 3 years, but
Yeah.
Tomato. Just wiped out tomato.
Yeah.
Chug
Okay.
chug with you. We could be pro Fortnite.
I've not
gamers.
heard. I've probably heard Chug Jug, but people mention it. I'm like, what the fuck are they on about? 'Cause I've not.
There's a version of it that's sung by Goofy. It's
Okay.
it's an interesting song, but like you could just very easily do that. I like my idea, and then there's medieval land, and
Yeah, I
IKEA.
I
my
like
idea.
my idea. Horror land.
I think yours would sell really well, but I would never go because I would
Well,
be
there's
pissing
actually-
and shitting myself.
That's
the whole
what
time.
people like horror films and stuff.
I watched a
Yeah.
series recently on Netflix called Dark Tourism, where it goes all dark tourism things, and there's
Right.
this person in America who like he tortures you for a night, like actually tortures you, and you can sign up to be tortured and like mentally broken. And he does it on this, and he doesn't even make it to like the second, like the main part of being tortured. But it's like people actually sign up for this experience of being tortured for a night. So people like doing stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah.
But my god, this torture park, oh my god, it's terrifying. They'll like pretty much drown you sometimes. Yeah, you should
What?
watch it. You should watch it. It's a Netflix
Oh.
series called Dark Tourism. It's really good. It was a final episode that we're in. But yeah. Not somewhat as extreme as that. I don't want to be tortured just like a horror theme park. Not a torture
Yeah.
theme park. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, been a good episode.
Has it?
I can't remember
I
what
hope
the
so.
first question was.
It was
I-
self-driving cars. It's been
Oh
a
my
long
God, that
one.
felt so long ago.
Yeah, it's been a long one. This one. It's almost 2 hours. We've
Oh.
recorded.
Oh, it's the battle for Azeroth talk. That's what got us.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. So give us a like, give us a review on all your podcasting sites you listen on, and if you want to see our faces, we're on YouTube. We'll catch you next week. I've been Ben.
I've been Frank.
I've been George.
Bye.
Bye.